Hello, everyone. Welcome to TD Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to take a look at the final villain from the Rise of the Red Skull campaign box. Uh, he's the one that the campaign is named after, Red Skull. So, even though Dirk is playing as Black Skull, apparently.
I'm Copper Skull or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, let's take a look at Red Skull's setup.
All right, so Red Skull. It's the Rise of the Red Skull. So whenever you're setting up, you're going to grab Red Skull 1 and 2 if you're playing Standard. You'll grab 2 and 3 if you're playing Expert. You will grab 2 modular encounter sets. They recommend Hydra Assault and Hydra Patrol. There is not a required. And then as part of setup, you'll put the red house into play and shuffle every other side scheme into the side scheme deck. Set it next to the encounter deck. That will be a separate deck, and you'll set the sleeper aside out of play.
Okay, that's over here. All right, yeah. So, the we're going to need the red house. So this is a side scheme that starts the game in play. Red Skull cannot take damage. It comes in with 3 threat per player. Interrupt when a character thwarts the side scheme, they may use their attack stat instead of their thwart.
Yep.
All right. And then like it said on there, we got a separate side scheme deck. So one of the side schemes we have is,
And this is the Sleeper Awakened. So the Sleeper Awakened, it comes out. It cannot leave play while the Sleeper is in play. So we'll get to him in just a second. It does not have any threat that it comes in with. But you'll, whenever it's revealed, you'll put the Sleeper into play engage at the first player. And when the Sleeper is defeated, you will remove this from the game.
yeah, so the reason it's significant to have a bunch of side schemes is because of Red Skull's ability here. So we'll just look at Red Skull 1 real quick. He comes in with 2 schemes, 0 attack, but Red Skull gets +1 attack for each side scheme in play. So like he took no damage with the red houses out, but the Sleeper Awakened stays out until you defeat the Sleeper. So that gives him a +1.
Yep. And also another thing that it doesn't make explicit, but it implies it, I guess. You take all of the side schemes with the added modules as well. So
Yeah.
not just the ones from the Red Skull.
Right. And the other reason this is important is because of this. I should have went over this first. Rise of the Red Skull, stage 1B. It starts with 0, 1 threat per player, 8 threat per player threshold. But after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, you reveal the top card of the side scheme deck and put it into play. So if the Sleeper Awaken is out for more than 1 turn, you keep adding side schemes.
Yep.
And when you defeat a side scheme, you put it in the side scheme discard pile, not the main encounter deck discard pile.
Yeah, so it'll still it's still a fairly small deck.
Yeah.
And then the sleeper here, so he's a elite Hydra robot with 5 hit points per player. He schemes for 1, he attacks for 3, he has guard, retaliate 1, and toughness. When revealed, he engages the first player, and when defeated, you remove him and the Sleeper Awakened side scheme from the game.
Yeah. All right. Another Red Skull side scheme is prison camps. When defeated, the player who defeats the scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an ally and puts it into play and shuffles their deck. So it actually gives you a benefit, but while it's out, of course, Red Skull stronger, comes in with an acceleration token, 3 threat per player. So it's almost kind of like a player side scheme before they had player side schemes, except for Red Skull gets the benefit from it as well.
Yes. All right, next we've got Censor the Pass. So this comes in with 3 threat per player. It's got an acceleration token on it as well. And when defeated, each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard pile and shuffles them into their deck. So this is when you want to definitely try to time it to where everybody's got cards in their discard pile, because if somebody doesn't have a discard pile, they're not getting any benefit from it.
And acceleration and 3 threat per player.
Listen,
And yeah, so this is really nice where, especially like you could shuffle your kit, your hero kit events back into your deck because they're usually more stronger than aspect cards. All right, there we got Hydra reinforcements. When defeated, the player who defeats the scheme discards a non-elite minion, has a hazard, and it's 2 threat per player.
We've got Mass Chaos. So this one doesn't come in with any threat, but does have an acceleration icon on it. And when revealed, each player discards the top card of their deck and places one threat here for each different type of resource icon, including wild, that is discarded this way. So this one can actually turn up with quite a bit on it, even though it has a base of 0.
And it actually has a crisis.
What'd I say?
It's an acceleration.
Oh, yep, crisis.
All right. And then since Hydra Patrol is one of the recommended, we've got this would, like Dirk mentioned before, this is a side scheme that came from the modular set, but it would get shuffled into the side scheme deck. The other thing to note is if Shadow of the Past comes out, once you defeat your Nemesis side scheme, that would get shuffled into the side scheme deck as well. So Hydra Patrol, it comes in with 2 threat per player. It's a crisis. When defeated, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play. Engage with them. Shuffle the encounter deck.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So if the first stage, if the Rise of the Red Skull is completed, then we'll move on to the New World Hydra. So when this one's revealed, you'll reveal the top card of the side scheme deck and put it into play.
And then stage 2B is still New World Hydra. 11 threat per player threshold. Comes in with 1 threat per player. Adds 1 threat per player per turn. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, you reveal the top card of the side scheme deck and put it into play. And if this gets completed, you lose the game.
All right, so here, Red Skull, stage 1, he has 12 hit points per player, and he schemes for 2, attacks for 0, but he gets +1 attack for each side scheme, as Dave said earlier.
Okay. Then stage 2, he has 16 threat per player, schemes for 3, attack for 1, but he also gets +1 attack for each side scheme and play. That part's still the same, but when revealed, you're going to deal each player an encounter card.
16 hit points, not threat.
Oh, did I say threat?
Yeah. All right, and then
it's pretty threatening.
Yeah, it is. And then Red Skull stage 3, he has scheme of 3, attack 2. Again, he gets +1 attack for each side scheme in play, and whenever this is revealed, you'll deal each player an encounter card.
Okay, so as the leader of Hydra, he gets to manipulate what Hydra is famous for, which is Hydra minions and Hydra attachments. So first of all
right, so we start with the Hydra Exo Soldier. So this is a Hydra minion with 5 hit points. It comes in with toughness, schemes for 2, attacks for 2, and if it comes out as a boost, you give the villain the tough status and another boost card.
And there's 3 copies.
3 copies of it.
We have Red Skull's Luger. It's a weapon attached to Red Skull. Red Skull's attacks gain piercing and range. You spend 1 of each resource type to discard this card. It gives them +1 scheme and +1 attack. And if it's a boost, you don't get to avoid it if you attach it to Red Skull.
All right, we've got 2 copies of Red Skull's right hook. So he doesn't have a right hook and a left hook. He's 2 right hooks.
Yeah.
But you attach this to Red Skull, he gets Retaliate 1. So if he's got both of them out, he'll have Retaliate 2. And as a hero action, you can spend 1 of each resource type to discard this card.
So they're proper hooks, I guess.
Yes.
All right, then we got 2 copies of a really annoying card, Master Strategist, attached to Red Skull. When Red Skull activates, give him an additional boost card for each side scheme in play. Then discard this card. So, in the beginning of step 1, you're automatically adding a side scheme. So that is a guarantee that it's going to be a minimum of 2 boost cards. But if you're not cleaning up the side schemes or you have cable in the game, you could, Red Skull could be hitting pretty hard.
Yeah. All right, then we've got Twisted Reality. We've got 2 copies of this. It has Incite 1. You'll attach this to a side scheme, and then when the attached side scheme is defeated, you'll deal the first player an encounter card.
Okay. Then we got 2 copies of Bitter Rival. When revealed, exhaust a character you control for each side scheme in play, and as a boost, exhaust a character you control.
Next, we've got 2 copies of Spreading Lies. So when this treachery is revealed, you'll place 2 threat on each scheme in play. And as a boost, you'll give Red Skull a tough status card.
Yeah. So this is a master plan again-ish.
Yes. Master plan is horrible in this.
All right. So then we got 2 copies of Infinite Power. When revealed, if you're alter ego, give Red Skull a tough status card, and he schemes. If you're a hero, give Red Skull a tough status card, and he attacks you. Okay. Then they recommend 2 modular sets. So the first one is the rest of Hydra Patrol. So we already saw the side scheme.
All right, so we'll start with 2 copies of Hydra Regular. So this is a Hydra minion with 2 hit points. Schemes for 1, attacks for 2, and it comes out with Insight, so you'll add a threat to the main scheme.
All right. And then we got 3 copies of Hydra Soldier, 1 scheme, 2 attack, 4 hit points. Hydra Guard, so you can't attack Red Skull until you get rid of this guy. And then you deal the engaged player an encounter card. So what's annoying with that is, if I'm engaged with him and Dirk defeats him, I get the encounter card.
That's the plan.
And Dirk gets the Hall of Hero point, I guess. Yeah, that's not fair. Not fair, man. Not fair. All right. Then we got Hydra Assault.
So with Hydra Assault, here we've got 3 copies of the Hydra Flame Soldier. Nasty little guy. It's a Hydra minion with 4 hit points. They scheme for 1, attack for 1, and as a forced response, after they make an undefended attack against you, you discard a support you control. If they come out as a boost, if this resolves during an undefended attack, and you won't know it because you have to declare defenders beforehand, you will discard a support you control.
So I'll take the Hydra Soldier, and I'll let Dirk have the Hydra Flame Soldier.
I'm blocking every time.
And that way he undefended attack, and he loses his Hall of Heroes, so he doesn't get the benefit from that. All right. Then we got Hydra Jet Trooper.
2 copies?
2 copies, yeah. Schemes for 0, attacks for 2, 3 hit points. Hydra Quick Strike. Boost, if you're in hero form, the villain attacks you after this activation, but he does not get any boost cards for that. Right. But he still gets his +1 per side scheme.
Yep. And then finally, we've got Hail Hydra. So Hail Hydra, this treachery, whenever it's revealed, each Hydra minion engaged with the hero makes an attack against that hero. And then each player who wasn't attacked this way searches the deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion, puts it into play, engage with them, and shuffles the encounter deck afterwards.
All right. Yeah, so this concludes our Rise of the Red Skull video series where we went over, so at this point,
we made it through the campaign. We survived.
Yeah. So we talked about standalone, where there's some different, there's some interesting things when you do campaign mode. Like for one thing, Absorbing Man gets delay counters, and there when you play Red Skull, then you add like threat to the Red House, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So and Red Skull can't take damage while the Red House is in play. So if you had like 10 delay counters or something, you've got 10 extra threat that you have to remove from the Red House before Red Skull takes damage.
Yeah, and then one of the things we learned relatively early on is whenever you're doing one of the campaigns, because we like going into them blind, whenever you're doing one of them, you're going to want to try to typically make sure that you are healed up at the end of it as well.
Yeah. When you play, they have rules for expert that you have sustained damage.
Oh yeah, I guess if you're playing expert, which we tend to play.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like on the channel we play standard a lot just because the games are faster.
Yeah, they can be some really long games.
Yeah, but usually in our player group we play expert, and at conventions and stuff we usually play expert as well. All right. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you'll get alerts whenever we post new videos. All right, see ya.